Hey everybody, welcome back. And if you're new to the channel, thanks for tuning in. On this episode, we're going to show you how to rebuild some small block Ford cylinder heads in your own garage. Let's get into it. These are some stock 50 HO E7TE cylinder heads for a 5-liter Ford. Now these are going to go on my 91 GT Mustang because it had a little head gasket issue and we're trying to get the engine fixed up a little bit. Now this is just going to be a down and dirty cheap rebuild. We're going to lap the valves with some lapping compound and a suction cup. And then we're also going to go ahead and change all the valve stem seals with some ones that I happen to have in stock left over from another project. So this is dirt cheap. We're going to have, I mean, if you actually had to buy these guys, you'd probably have 40 bucks into this. And this will work on a set of heads that is in decent shape already. We're basically just freshening it. These look like they were running fine. The valve guides have some play in them, but they're not totally trashed. Good enough for what we need for now to get this car running. The car is getting a built 306 motor with aluminum heads later. So this is just to get us driving for the summer. You obviously, to do this, you got to start with heads that are in decent shape already. What you're looking for, it's pretty normal for the exhaust valve to be kind of ashy, and then the intake valve to just have some carbon on it. I've already scraped these with a gasket scraper and cleaned them up with degreaser, wire wheeled them, stuff like that. Now, don't be tempted to use a Scotch lock grinder cookie on these, because as you can see on these ones, they're clean and you can still see the pattern from the factory machining on them and milling the cylinder heads. So these don't look like they've ever been milled. They got a little flash rust on them now from me cleaning them and hosing them off and blowing them out, but we'll redo the valves, a little bit of final cleanup, and they should be good to go. Okay, we're going to do this somewhat assembly line style. I've got the heads laid out here and they're going to stay like this, so we'll go ahead and use the valve spring compressor. Take all the valves out. We'll stack them all up here in order so we don't get them mixed up. And then we'll take them over to the bench grinder, or the drill press anyway, and clean them up. I'm going to be using my Performance Tool valve spring compressor. Would not recommend it. It was somewhat cheap, but as you'll see me struggle with it, it's not very good. Okay, so I thought the fine grinding compound was gonna get her done, but it's not quite getting the pits out. So for $5 at the parts store, I got another kit. We're gonna do the coarse to get all the pits out, and then we'll do the fine to smooth and polish it up a little bit. So we're gonna clean the stuff off of this. Also, the suction cup deal, well, it sucks. Or it doesn't suck. Not good enough anyway. So let's give this one a go with some coarse. Well, that's quite a lot. Must have been warm. So I'll let you hear that because when the drill's going, you won't be able to hear it. But that's the sound, and when the sound kind of stops, the abrasives have degraded, and so then it's time to either apply some more or go to the next step. So I'll show you a shot real quick of what we got going on the other side, which is this guy clamped onto the valve stem, and we're going to hook my drill on there on low. Okay, let's give her a little check. Okay, so looking a lot better. This is called the margin right there. Still need some more though, looks like. It seems like we must use quite a bit of the coarse and not so much of the fine, because I still have some of the fine left from doing this last time and none of the coarse. So you can already hear it's kind of diminished. Okay, so that's not great, but that's probably as good as it's going to get without an actual machine shop valve job. So let's hit her with the fine compound. And then of course we'll leave these valves in as we go so we don't get them mixed up. And then we will clean this all up before we reassemble it with some new seals. Okay, real quick tech tip before I forget to film this. Now, on our valves, what you might think that this wide surface here, where it's kind of a lighter gray, is actually the sealing surface. It's not. That's called the margin, where you're looking for uniformity and no kind of unground parts when you're doing this. I need like a poker. I need a pointer. What you're looking for is this spot here and this spot here. That's where the valve actually seals, those two spots. The margin in between right here is actually what transfers heat from the valve into the head on that seating surface right there. So the edges are where it actually seals. The margin is the middle part, the wide contact area, and that is where it transfers heat. So they don't look the best, but it should be pretty good for what it is. And this one, as you can see, the margin still has pitting on it, but the actual sealing surface looks pretty good all the way around. So now an actual valve job with machining would take all that out and it'd be a nice fresh surface, but that's not what we're doing on this, and this is good enough for who it's for and for what it's for. there's one junkyard head ready to go. I don't really need to show you the other side because it's the exact same thing all over again. If anybody knows a good, decent priced valve spring compressor, the C-clamp type with the crank on the end, that's not like $400 or $300, let me know in the comments. I could really use one of those for as much as I'm tearing heads apart. But anyway, this ain't machine shop brand new, but if you're in a situation like I am where you got a blown head gasket and you want something a little better than the slap wore out heads that were on there, you can do something like this. Also, if you have a non-HO motor and you score a set of these came on trucks and basically all the base 5 liters after like 87, I think it was. Good upgrade for a non-HO motor. So yeah, hopefully that helps you out. Help me out with a like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment below. And I'm just gonna seat these keepers real quick because if something's gonna fly apart, we want it to happen now, not while it's on the engine. So I got my dead blow mallet and we're just gonna give them a all right. So there's our rebuilt, resealed junkyard heads. I'll give them a quick scrape down again with a razor blade before we throw them on there, but they should be ready for head gaskets and ready to go on the car. Hope you enjoyed this low buck tech. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.